What's going on, guys? Raymond here. I'm back with another video. So in today's video we are going to look at just the introduction to React. So I'll be dropping videos on React. So this will just be a series so that we can share knowledge about React together. Okay, so I'll just open up just the console where we're going to define some terms about React. Okay, so the first question is what is React, because we need to know what we are learning. Okay, so React is just a JavaScript library for building user interfaces. So that is, it's not a big thing, it's just a JS library for building or creating user interfaces. That is all. Okay, so I think we are all familiar with what a user interface is. So a user interface just the face of any application that we can interact with. For instance, I'm on Windows, so all we are seeing here is just a Windows interface. So if I open up this is a calculator interface. I'm able to interact with it. So this is the UI, which allows me to interact with a given application. Okay, so we have JavaScript, which you can just use to build the whole website or an application, but React or any other framework like Angular, it helps to build single page applications. So single page applications, we are going to see how all this works. So in the past, we used to create the website using JavaScript, then we request files from the server, then each time we want to request new information, again maybe we have again to request that from the server. But with a framework like React or Angular, we can just request everything at once, and the UI or the user interface is going to handle how the user is going to interact with that application without requesting again from the server. So this is handy, and we are going to see how it works. Okay, so again, React helps us to reuse the user interfaces that we can create, or just reuse what are known as components. We are going to see what components are. Okay, so once we create maybe one component which is similar, we can reuse it all over the application. So that's how React works. For instance, if I open up this here, you see that we have an icon and a calculator, icon and a calendar. The layout is the same, so we can just create one component and we'll just be changing the icon and the weights. Okay, that's what is known as reusable components. Okay, so now what do we need to get started with React? Okay, so before getting started with React, we need to install what is known as Node.js, as well as npm and a text editor or just a code editor of our choice. Okay, so we need these, but when installing Node.js, it contains npm as well, so you can just head to Node.js download, then it will take you to the website, so you can download the long-term support. This will contain npm as well as indicated here. Okay, if you're on Mac, you can download using Mac. Okay, then for the text editor, I'm using VS Code. So again, you can just head to vscode.com or .org and download Visual Studio Code. Okay, so once you download those, you'll be ready to start running the React. Okay, now the other thing that we need now after we install Visual Studio Code and Node.js is to open that text editor. So we can just say VS Code here, then you open it. Then you need now to install a React application. Okay, so there are a few methods that are used to install a React application. So let's just say setting up React app. Okay, there are a few methods that are used. One of them is using the CDN, which is the content delivery network. So in that case, you can just include a URL in our application, like maybe when we can just include a link, just like the way we include a CS link in an HTML file. So we can just include the link and we connect these to the content delivery network. But this is not commonly used for production. So there is another method which is very popular. We just say npx, then create, then dash, then react dash app. Okay, then you leave a space, then the name of the application here, whatever name you can call it, you name it like that. So using Visual Studio Code, let me just do a demo. So what you can do is to create just a folder here. You can call it whatever you can call it, then open this with a text editor of your choice. I recommend Visual Studio Code. Then within that, you toggle the terminal by holding down Control. If you're on Windows, then backtick, or you can just go to terminal, then new, then this terminal is going to pop up. So you're going to type npx, then you leave a space, then create, then dash, then react, then dash app. Okay, so the name of your folder should be in lowercase, although Visual Studio Code converts this to uppercase. So after that, you leave a space. Then if you want to install this application in that folder, you can just click dot, or if you want to give it a name, you can give it name of app. Okay, then once you are done, then you hit enter. So this is going to install an application in that folder, but I will not continue. I'll just cancel it. The other method that I normally use, which is not that I normally use, is npm, then vite, npm create, then space, then vite, then at latest. Okay, then you hit enter, then it's going to create a React application using vite. So the only difference is that it's going to use JSX as the file extension, while create React app uses just .js extension. Okay, so you need not to worry about all these terms that you are hearing, because we are going to cover them along the way. All right, so I'll just close this up. So these are some of the methods that we use to create a React application. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I'll just close this up. So I've already installed a React application, because it takes some time when you are creating a React application due to network issues. But if your network is fast, it can be fast. But whatever error that you can face, you just have to research what that error is saying, then you'll be able to find the solution. Actually, that's how programming is. You research what the error is saying, then you find the solution. Okay, so after you install a React application, in this case I used npx, then create -react-app. So to show you some of the text up here, then and the folders here, we have node modules, the public folder, the source, the get-ignore, then these package.json files, and a readme file. Okay, you can read all these comments and you can familiarize yourself with this. Then the package.json and package-lock.json, we just have some dependencies. Here we have the name of our application, which is contained in here, and just other things that we have, okay, within that application. So we have two important files here. The first one is found in this is just an icon. This is the index.html file. This contains an ID of root, and this root is being grabbed in this folder, which is the source folder, src. Here we can go to index.js. This is where we're going to find the render method. So this render method, it's grabbing the root, the ID of root from index.html, and be able to render our application. Okay, so all these other files, they are not that important. This is just a logo, and these we can delete them if we want. And this is just CSS, which is used for styling, as well as this. Now we have app.js, which contains now the main component of application. So this is where we are creating the rest of the application. Okay, so you can just take your time to familiarize yourself with this, and what I'm going to do now is just to run the application. So you can go to these comments and read what this code is saying. So you can see that to start the application, you can run this command npm start, then this is going to start our application. We can run other commands to test the application. We can build for production. Okay, so to start, I'll just say npm start, then hit enter. Then this is going to open that application in the web browser. Then we'll be ready to start creating our application. So what I'll do, I'll just remove some of the things that we do not need, like I said. Now here you can see we have webpack compiled successfully. Now when we check, we are going to see our application is running live here. Okay, so you can customize this startup application. So we can remove some of the things, such as maybe the CSS, but you can leave them if you want. But in most cases, you are going to delete them. You can just leave this app.js. If you want, you can delete it once you are familiar. So you can remove this logo, report, this setup text. Then you can just right click and delete. You can read through before you delete, so that you see if you are deleting the right stuff. So all those will be gone. You are going to have a bunch of errors because we are importing some of the things that we have deleted. So we can just come here and remove this CSS because we have deleted it. We can remove also these, as well as all these comments because we have removed them. When we save, we'll see we still have errors because we are still importing some things which we have deleted, like this one here. Okay, again, you can just be reading here. You can just read here what the error is saying, then you can find out what the error is. Okay, for instance, here it's saying in line 8 and 19 logo is not defined. Okay, so what I normally do is just remove everything here and save. You see we still have one error, can't resolve app.css. Okay, so you can go to, as you can see, we have removed that app.css. so what to do is to remove this because we have deleted that, so you can remove it, and now you see we are up and running, and when we go here we have got nothing. So you can just go back, and for instance you can put just let me just change this to React. Here you can change the language that you are using, so React JavaScript. So I can type here an H1, then hit enter, then save, and then we can just say hello, then save, and when we go we are just going to see hello. Okay, so you can familiarize yourself with this boilerplate and try to install the React application. Don't worry about everything else, just try to familiarize yourself with this. Then in the next lecture we are going to dive a little bit deeper and in React, and we'll talk about everything like why we are writing HTML here, why we have class name. Yeah, so we'll continue in the next lecture. So thank you so much for viewing this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next lesson.